Hello everybody, my name is CulBlu and I'm bringing out this video of me playing a board game, and today we're going to be talking about Cascadia, the board game, and let me go and sort of background music here. And for those who kind of just want a quick and dirty, what do I think about this game? Do I like it? Do I not like it? Let me go ahead and just start off by saying that I do enjoy this game a lot. I do think it's a good game. It's a great introductory board game, and is one that I think does deserve a space on many shelves. This game does replace, in my opinion, a game like Ticket to Ride or Carcassonne on my shelf. Because I guess the theme is a little bit more neutral. Carcassone's still a great game. It will live on my shelf. Ticket to Ride, a game that I'm not a big fan of, but it's a game that this game is a good introductory game. Is what I'm trying to say. Good evergreen game. You can find some big box stores and all this other fun stuff. As far as the gameplay goes, essentially you're taking sets of taking one animal token and one land tile, and you're putting the tile down and putting the animal token somewhere to score points, and you're trying to get as many points as you can. It's a whole point salad situation going on. Lots of cool stuff, lots of cool variety. One positive, one negative about the game. Positive is that it's very simple to teach. Negative is that it's a little bit convoluted to teach. I know those 2 points are kind of contradictory to each other, but what I mean by that is that the game is it's really like 6 rules, maybe 7 rules. But when you first put it on the table to show people, especially people who might not be familiar with board games, it might seem intimidating to understand what everything does. It just looks intimidating. It just plays intimidation on TV. It's not an actual intimidation, the board game is. But that said, that can be a barrier for some people. Just it looks like a lot to process. But once you get over that first hump, trust me, it's pretty simple, straightforward. All right, cool. Now we're done with that. Let's go ahead and start talking about some more things about the game. I'm not going to do a full teach of the game because I did that in my playthrough that I did previously. But I will just kind of talk about some basics. Essentially, I mentioned before, you have normally your tiles will be out in the stack. The game gives you this nice, pretty bag, this drawstring bag, to keep your animal, wildlife tokens in. I keep my wildlife tokens in this bag. This happens to be a black bag, so it's blending with my background. But this bag I use to keep the wildlife tokens. Oh, I lost the hawk. Fell off my table. I'll get that later. But essentially, you would draw 4 of these to start the game, to initialize the game. And then you would place out 4 tiles. And like I said before, you would normally have the tiles out in a face-down stack. The tiles are double-sided. Sorry, to clarify, the tiles have one side that's neutral, can't really tell what it is, and the other side has a thing on it, has some stuff on it. So you can put these all face down in a stack, which is what the game expects you to do, but like I said, I like to do bag drawings if I can. And then on your turn, starting with your initial placement tile, your initial tile, everybody has one of these initial tiles. There's 5 of them because it's a 5-player game, and they all have different situations. And on your turn, you're going to choose one pairing. So I can choose this pairing, I can choose this pairing, I can choose this pairing, or I can choose that pairing. And I am restricted to choosing only those pairings. So let's say I choose this pairing. If I choose this pairing, I take the 2 things that are there. I take the wildlife token, and I take the keystone tile, and I place the keystone tile wherever I want. It is beneficial for me to place it in spots attached to similar land types. And then I get to place this wildlife token wherever I want. So I can put this on either here or here. If I put this one here, in this spot specifically, which has this pine cone thing next to it, I will get a bonus thing. I'll get a nature tile, or a nature token is what it's called. So I'm just going to coincidentally put it there. But just to clarify, with that pairing that I took, I can put this animal wherever I want. I can put this here if I wanted to. It's just, right now it's beneficial for me to put it here. Then once I put it there, that's it for my turn. Because I put this on top of a spot with a wildlife token on it, I will get a wildlife token, which is this little pine cone thing. And this thing is pretty cool. I'll show what it does later. So if you're playing solo, there's different rules that you follow. You would clear out the last one and then fill in 2 new tiles and 2 new wildlife tokens. But if you're playing a multiplayer, you'll just fill in the one that was taken, or the ones that were taken by the person. And then at the end, the next person will go, and then that's it for the turn. I'm going to take another turn just to continue our demo here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2. So note that this particular tile has no fish. That's fine. I'm going to put this here. Can I orient that correctly? There we go. Put this here, and then I'll put this fish there. And that's it. So let me fill in 2 more. Sorry, 2 more. 1 more. And we kind of keep going. I mean, I'm assuming that we all get the picture. The flow of the game is literally just that. It's just you're doing that. You take your turn. Your turn's over. Next person goes. They choose from the available pool, and then their turn's over. You fill in. The next person goes. Same thing. Same sequence of play. With this wildlife token, I can choose to spin that wildlife token. Oops, no one was that too. I can choose to spin the wildlife token during my turn to take any two of my choice, anything of my choice. So I can take this elk down here. I can take this tile, so I can break that rule of taking the pairing as it's listed. And then I can put it wherever I want. You know, so I want to put this. Let's say I want to put this over here, be wild here, and then put that there. That's it. Pretty simple. Plain and simple. Now, the goal of this whole thing, because I did not mention the goal of the game, the goal of this whole thing, like I said, is to score points. There's a whole slew of ways to score points. So you can score points based on each animal's scoring condition. You can score points based on your biggest section of land, your biggest corridor is what the game calls it, of land for each type of land. So for instance, if the game were to end right now, for ice caps, my biggest set of ice caps is this one here. So I'll get 1 point for that. For my forest, I have a size 1 forest and a size 2 forest, so I'll get 2 points because that's my biggest one for the forest. For my desert, I'll have 3 because it's 1, 2, 3, and then so on and so forth. So it behooves you to put your tiles together. You also get some bonus points if you have the biggest set of that too. And then moving on, the animal scoring conditions. Every animal, there's 5 different animals. Every animal has a scoring condition, and these will be determined at the top of the game. So that before you get to your playthrough, you'll draw one of each of these, and they will score a certain way. This is the part that's kind of intimidating for some people to look at, because it just seems like a lot to take in at once, especially if you just put it all on the table at the same time without explaining piece by piece. At least that's been in my experience. But in general, the way they score is that the foxes will score based on animals that are adjacent to them. The elks will score based on a specific particular line or shape. The fish will score on a particular run size or shape. The hawks will score based on being separate from other hawks or other things. And then finally the bears will score based on being in specific size groups of usually 2 or 3. 2, 3, or 4, I should say. So in this case you have a size 1, size 2, and size 3. So if you have a size 1 grouping of bears, you will get 2 points. If you have a size 2 grouping of bears, you get 5. And you have a size 3 grouping of bears, you get 8 points. And that's based on the groupings. If you have a size 4 grouping, or if you have a size 2, as in a size 2 and a size 4 over here, then, or sorry, size 3 over here, then too bad, that's a size 5. You're not able to break it up that way. They have to be physically separate from each other. The hawks, like I said, they score usually based on being isolated and so on and so forth. And there's a whole bunch of different scoring conditions. I don't want to get into too much into the woods of explaining all of them. And then one of these came from this one. This one came from a bonus pack or something I got from something I backed. Anyway, but yeah, the game is pretty much like a nice little point salad situation. I don't know if that makes it a Euro, or if that's what a Euro is considered with the point salad situation going on, but it makes it really easy to approach because the animal theme is very opening, it's very welcoming, I should say, to people, and also it's kind of neutral. And then the scoring situation, you know, it's a little bit random. So even those who are power gamers, who might have the best strategy for everything and min-maxes the crap out of everything, you can only min-max it but so much because you have to deal with a random assortment of what you've provided. And then there's also a lot of opportunities to score points. You can really focus on just getting your animal pairs. You can really focus on just getting your land sizes, the correct arrangement, or you can try to focus on maybe 2 or 3, like specialize in 2 or 3 goals, and then ignore the other ones and see how you do. So there's a lot of variety that the game brings. I did want to take a moment to mention that I do have the other 2 games in this line, or at least other 2 at the time of this video, as far as I'm aware. I do have the other 2 games in this line of Calico and Verdant. I played neither, so I do not know how to play either. Before I hear people, because people do commonly compare the solo experience of Calico to the solo experience of Cascadia, to basically ask the question of which one's a better solo experience. And some people say Calico, some people say Cascadia. I'm not sure. I'm going to play Cascadia eventually, or sorry, I'm going to play Calico eventually, and I'm going to play Verdant eventually, and then I'll do a follow-up video eventually on which one I think is the better one and what the pros and cons of each one. So be on the lookout for that video for future me to do. But for right now, as far as Cascadia is concerned, I do enjoy the experience. There is a solo campaign-ish thing that you can do with this game, where essentially you pick a path, and then you're trying to do a specific set of specific scoring conditions for that. So you pick one of these achievements, and then you have to score that many points with these particular cards. And if you can do that, then you achieve the goal. That's pretty fun. It gives you kind of like a goal to reach instead of just a simple beat your own score situation. So that's pretty fun. And I actually would be interested in seeing how this one goes, because you need to have 100 points. I'm not really sure how to interpret this, but I'm assuming this is you need to have 100 points. And you need to have five of these nature tokens. You need to have 7 size 3s, and then 2 sets of animals for 20 points. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what that means. But yeah, but it exists. It's here, and it's also this achievements for a normal game. I scored a certain number of points, so that was pretty fun. And they also give you some nice facts about each animal back here. Wetlands, that's what it's called. I kept calling it swamps or something. So yeah, so that's it, pretty much it for the game. I don't really have much else to talk about. I think I kind of did my review at the end of the playthrough anyway, but just to reiterate here, I do enjoy this game quite a bit. I do think it brings a lot of variety, and it is a game that definitely deserves space on the shelf, and it's also not that big of a box. It has for sure replaced a game like Ticket to Ride, at least for me. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of Ticket to Ride anyway, so it's not like Ticket to Ride was in my immediate list of games to introduce people to. But it is a pretty strong contender for something like Carcassonne, and I can only imagine what Calico's like, because I hear Calico is a very good solo experience. It's a very brutal 2-player or 3-player experience, so we'll see how that goes. There's also another scoring condition, which I'm not going to talk about, but at any rate, that's going to be it for this whole entire video. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it, and as always, I will see you all whenever.